You started this. Show me everything.
I can handle myself.
Yeah, I noticed.
Before she was a legend, she was a nobody. Before Ellen Ripley became the greatest female action hero of all time, Sigourney Weaver was an unknown actress stepping into her first major starring role in Alien, Ridley Scott's 1979 sci-fi horror masterpiece that changed cinema forever. She wasn't the star on the poster. She wasn't even top billing. She was just one of 7 crew members, surrounded by heavy-hitting character actors like Tom Skerritt, Ian Holm, and Yaphet Kotto. And yet, she's the one who walked away. That's where Ripley's brilliance begins. Not with a spotlight, not with superpowers, but with surprise. In this video, I'm going to examine what makes Ellen Ripley the gold standard for female action heroes, and why, decades later, she still outshines so many modern counterparts, like Captain Marvel, despite their billion-dollar budgets and CGI spectacle. Hey everybody, welcome back. Ellen Ripley wasn't written to steal the show. In fact, in the original script for Alien, Ripley wasn't even explicitly a woman. The roles were gender neutral. A bold choice for a 1979 film. Director Ridley Scott and the casting team saw something in Sigourney Weaver, a 29-year-old theatre actress with only a few minor roles to her name, and decided to take a chance. That decision changed everything. Ripley's introduction isn't flashy. She's not the captain, not the science officer, not even the comic relief. She's a warrant officer, a middle manager on a grimy space freighter, doing her job quietly while others take the lead. There's no grand monologue, no heroic pose, no hint that she's destined for greatness. She's just there. And that's the genius of it. Ripley wasn't supposed to be the final girl. Audiences in 1979 expected someone like Dallas, the stoic captain played by Tom Skerritt, or Ash, the cool-headed scientist played by Ian Holm, to carry the story. Horror tropes at the time leaned heavily on male leads or scream queen damsels. But as the xenomorph picks off the crew one by one, Ripley steps up. Not because she's anointed, but because she's the one who survives. Her rise feels organic. She doesn't start as a badass. She earns it through logic, resilience, and a stubborn refusal to give up. When she takes command after Dallas's death, it's not because the script demands it. It's because she's the only one left with a clear head. That slow burn from nobody to hero makes her survival deeply satisfying. It's not just about outrunning the monster, it's about outthinking it. The 1980s and early 1990s were the golden age of hyper-masculine action heroes. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. These guys dominated with bulging muscles, endless ammo, and cheesy catchphrases like,
"Chill out, dickwad."
Your worst nightmare.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
It was an era of power fantasies, where heroes mowed down enemies with brute force and swagger. Ripley? She didn't fit that mold, and that's exactly why she stood out. In Alien and its 1986 sequel Aliens, Ripley doesn't rely on physical dominance. She's not trading punches with the xenomorph, or flexing her biceps. Instead, she survives through intelligence, quick thinking, and raw courage under pressure. Take the climax of Alien. Ripley doesn't defeat the xenomorph in a fistfight. She outsmarts it, lure it into the airlock, and blast it into space. In Aliens, when she faces a hive of aliens, she uses strategy, arming herself with a flamethrower, rigging explosives, and rescuing her team with a level-headed plan. Even in her iconic power loader showdown with the alien queen, it's not about overpowering the creature, it's about protecting Newt, the child that she's sworn to save. Ripley's strength isn't about mimicking the macho heroes of her time. She doesn't need to prove she's tougher than the men around her, whether it's the corporate stooge Burke or the cocky Marines. She proves she belongs by being competent, decisive, and morally grounded. Her leadership feels earned, not entitled. This authenticity made her revolutionary. In an era obsessed with male power fantasies, Ripley showed that heroism doesn't require a Y chromosome or a bodybuilder's physique. She redefined what a hero could be, not by out-machoing the men, but by outclassing them, in a good way. Now, of course, a huge part of what makes Ripley so great is because of Sigourney Weaver. At the time of Alien, Weaver was a relative unknown, fresh out of Yale Drama School, standing 5'11" with a commanding presence, but no Hollywood clout. Not yet anyway. Yet, she brought Ripley to life with a performance so authentic, it's impossible to imagine anyone else in the role. Weaver didn't play Ripley as a larger-than-life superhero. She played her as a person, flawed, reactive, and deeply human. Watch her in Alien when she discovers the xenomorph is stowed away on the escape shuttle. Her face cycles through shock, fear, and determination in seconds, her hands trembling as she straps herself in to confront it. That's not a scripted hero moment. That's an actress making you believe that the stakes are real. Weaver's natural charisma is understated, but magnetic. Her tall frame and sharp features give Ripley a quiet authority, but it's her emotional depth that seals the deal. In Aliens, when Ripley comforts Newt, or snaps at the incompetent Lieutenant Gorman, you feel her frustration, her protectiveness, and her resolve. Her silence carries as much weight as her words, like when she stares down the alien queen with steely defiance. Contrast that with modern action heroines like Captain Marvel, played by everyone's favourite actress Brie Larson. Larson's performance often leans on smug quips and detached coolness, as if the character knows she's untouchable. Weaver's Ripley, on the other hand, feels like she's fighting for every inch of her survival. That raw humanity is what makes her so memorable. Now, let's talk about Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers, one of the most polarizing female action heroines in recent years. On paper, she's everything a strong female character should be. Powerful, confident, unbeatable. Her solo film grossed over $1 billion, and she was positioned as the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's future. So why does she leave so many audiences cold? The problem is simple. Captain Marvel doesn't earn her heroism. From the moment we meet her, she's already the most powerful being in the room, gifted with cosmic energy that makes her near invincible. She doesn't struggle, she doesn't grow, and she rarely shows vulnerability. Her arc feels like a checklist. Strong? Check. Sarcastic? Check. Always right? Double check. When other characters, like Nick Fury or the Skrulls, treat her as flawless from the start, it creates a disconnect with the audience. Why should we root for someone who never seems to need our support? Her quippy, above-it-all attitude, like smirking through every fight, feels more like a writer's attempt to project coolness than a reflection of a real person. Ripley is the opposite. In Alien, she's not the strongest or the bravest at first anyway. She's terrified when the xenomorph stalks her crew. She's outranked and undermined by her superiors. She doubts herself, as seen in Aliens when she hesitates to return to the alien-infested colony. But she grows into a leader through trial and error, earning every victory through courage and sacrifice. Take the scene in Aliens, where she risks her life to save Newt from the alien hive. She's not smirking or cracking jokes. She's sweating, panting, her voice breaking as she calls out for the child. When she finally takes control, it's not because the script declares her perfect. It's because she fought through her fear to do what's right. That's not a girl boss moment. That's earned heroism. Captain Marvel's power is a given. Ripley's power is a journey. One feels like a fantasy, the other feels like reality. Ripley's strength doesn't come from being unflappable, it comes from being human. She freezes up when she's scared, like when she discovers the facehugger. She makes mistakes, like underestimating the company's betrayal in Alien, or trusting the prisoners too quickly in Alien 3. But here's what sets her apart. She learns, she adapts, she pushes forward, not because she's invincible, but because she has no choice. In Aliens, when she's plagued by PTSD nightmares about the xenomorph, she doesn't shrug it off. She confronts it, volunteering to face the aliens again, not just to protect others, but to face her own demons. That's bravery. Not the absence of fear, but decision to act despite it. Her vulnerability isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Ripley gets hurt. She bleeds. She's battered. She's bruised and battered by prisoners in Alien 3. In Alien 3, she carries the ultimate physical wound, an alien chest burster growing inside her. She loses crewmate after crewmate. Dallas, Parker, Kane, her entire crew in Alien. Yet instead of becoming hardened or vengeful, she channels her pain into resolve, protecting others at all costs. Compare that to Captain Marvel, who never seems to break a sweat. She has no scratches, no scars, no losses that linger. Her invincibility makes her feel distant. Ripley's struggles make her feel relatable. Ripley has to prove her bravery every time, and that's what makes her heroism resonate. Now, let's address a common critique of modern female action heroes. Sometimes they're just annoying. Characters like Rey in Star Wars or Captain Marvel often come off as aloof or condescending, acting like they're above everyone else. They rarely listen, they don't collaborate, and their flaws feel superficial, making them hard to root for. Ripley? She's the antidote. She listens to her crew, even when she disagrees, like when she debates quarantine protocols with Dallas and Alien. She leads with authority, but not arrogance, as seen when she coordinates the Marines and Aliens without undermining them. She never needs to belittle others to stand out.
We know it's using the air shafts. Will you listen to me, Parker? Shut up!
Well, most of the time anyway. Her competence speaks for itself. Take her interactions with the Colonial Marines and Aliens. These are battle-hardened soldiers, yet she earns their respect by staying calm under pressure and making smart calls, like ordering a tactical retreat when the aliens ambush. Even when she clashes with Burke or Gorman, it's not about proving her point. It's about doing what's best for the team. Ripley's empathy makes her compelling. In Alien 3, she connects with the prisoners on the penal colony, a group of violent outcasts, by respecting their humanity, sharing their fear, and rallying them to fight. She's not preaching or posturing, she's leading by example. And it never feels forced. She never feels like a caricature. She feels like someone that you'd want in a crisis. One of Alien's greatest strengths is its emotional core, the makeshift family of Ripley, Hicks, and Newt. In a genre often dominated by spectacle, this trio grounds the action in human connection, giving Ripley stakes that make her fight feel urgent and personal. Her bond with Newt, the orphan girl she rescues, is the heart of the film. Ripley becomes a protector, not out of obligation, but out of genuine care. The scenes where she's comforting Newt, teaching her to face fear, or risking her life to save her from the alien hive, shows a maternal instinct that's neither forced nor sentimental. Hicks, the level-headed Marine played by Michael Biehn, complements Ripley perfectly. The relationship isn't a forced romance. It's a partnership built on mutual trust. Hicks respects her leadership, deferring to her when she proves her competence, like when she handles the power loader. There are quiet moments, like Hicks giving her a tracking bracelet, hint at a deeper connection without derailing the story. These bonds elevate Ripley beyond a typical action hero. She's not just fighting the aliens to survive, she's fighting for people that she cares about. Now again, contrast this with Captain Marvel, whose relationships, like her friendship with Nick Fury, feel functional, not emotional. Ripley's arc as a protector gives her actions weight, making her one of cinema's most empathetic leads. Ripley thrives in male-dominated worlds. A corporate spaceship, a marine squad, prison colony, without ever losing her identity. She commands respect, not by out-shouting or overpowering the men around her.
It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Right.
These people are dead, Burke! Don't you have any idea what you've done here?
Well, most of the time, but by proving herself through action and intellect. In Aliens, she walks into a squad of colonial marines who start off skeptical of her, with some cracking sexist jokes about her, but by the end, she's leading them, earning their loyalty through her strategic thinking and bravery. When she takes charge during the chaotic alien attack, it's because she's the only one keeping a cool head. In Alien 3, she navigates the worst crowd, a group of male prisoners with a history of violence. Yet, even there, she earns their respect by working alongside them, sharing their risks, and showing courage to face death itself. Her leadership style isn't about dominance, it's about grounded collaboration and shared purpose. And you know what's striking is how Ripley's femininity never feels erased. She's not trying to be one of the guys, or rejecting her compassion to fit in. She leads as herself, intelligent, empathetic, resolute, and that authenticity transcends gender. Compare this to modern heroines like Katniss or Rey, who sometimes feel like they're trying to emulate male stoicism at the expense of their femininity. Ripley shows that true leadership doesn't require sacrificing your heart. It's what makes her powerful. Ripley's story doesn't end with a victory parade or a triumphant pose. In Alien 3, it ends with one of the most heartbreaking sacrifices in film history. Knowing she carries a chestburster, the alien that could destroy humanity, Ripley chooses to end her life by throwing herself into a molten furnace, ensuring the xenomorph doesn't survive. This isn't a moment of glory, it's one of quiet, devastating resolve. There's no backup plan, no last-second save, no sequel bait, although we did get a sequel. Ripley gives up everything, her future, her life, her chance at happiness, to protect others. Her final act is driven by purpose, not ego. Unlike modern action heroines, who often survive impossible odds with plot armor, Ripley's story embraces mortality. Her sacrifice feels real because it's final. This ending, though polarizing amongst fans of the franchise, cements her legacy. She's not a hero defined by looking cool or winning. She's about doing what's right, no matter the cost. That's what makes her timeless. So, is Ellen Ripley a girl boss? Absolutely not. She's something far rarer in today's landscape. A fully realized character with depth, flaws, growth, and heart. Ellen Ripley didn't just survive the xenomorph, she survived time. Decades after Alien hit theaters, Ripley remains the blueprint for what a female action hero can be. Complex, relatable, and inspiring without being a slogan. Maybe it's time Hollywood stopped writing women as invincible archetypes or empowerment cliches and started writing them like Ripley, as a person. Anyway, what's your favourite Ripley moment? Who do you think is the most believable action hero in film today? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Share this video out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.